Today we're going to take a look at Sage Service Operations, the mobile field service solution that integrates with both Sage 100 Contractor and Sage 300 Construction and Real Estate. The solution is a web app broken into a couple different feature sets. We have a few features here, including the dashboard and the dispatch screen that can be utilized by employees within your office. We also have the assignments page here, which is primarily used by your field technicians or employees in the field. Let's quickly review the dashboard. The dashboard is a high-level overview of what's going on within my service department today. How busy are we? How many new work orders do we have today? Do I need to go down and talk to my billing team? Why are there no invoices today? Good question, huh? And also, how are we doing in correlation to the last 7 days? How many invoices are we cranking out today versus the last 7 days? We also have the ability to see the most recent work orders, and we can also customize what we see on this dashboard by managing inquiries. We can build our own custom inquiries and export those to Excel. Moving on to the dispatch board. The dispatch board is an alternative dispatch board to what's available currently within Sage 100 and Sage 300 Service Management. The dispatch board can be comprised of several groups. Each dispatcher can customize what they can see. They can simply drag and drop to reschedule a call. We have a weekly view, a monthly view, and a 2-week view to provide additional flexibility when reviewing what resources are available to schedule. On the work order pick list, we can easily drag and drop any of these work orders from here to the dispatch board and schedule them with the appropriate technician. We can also filter which work orders are available on this list, and we have some mapping functionality, including the ability to overlay current traffic conditions in your area to provide as many tools as possible to your dispatchers and service coordinators. So that's kind of a high-level overview of the feature sets available to both service managers and dispatchers within the office. Moving on, I'm going to focus on the assignments page. The assignments page is really the core feature that's available within Sage Service Operations. This is what's really going to help with the productivity. In most specialty service contractors, paper can be overwhelming. You may have 5, 10, 15, 20 technicians, and each technician's handing in 20 or 30 pieces of paper a week with their labor, notes, parts, material, and then all that information needs to be entered manually within the accounting system. We help take away that pain point and enter that information in the field while your technicians are billing out $100 an hour to the client. So let's kind of walk through this core feature set here. So under assignments here, we have the ability to pretty much see the weekly time card for the employee. So I'm logged in as John Smith, so I'm a technician in the field, and I have the ability to see my week. So I can see on Monday I was out sick with 8 hours of time, so that's time not associated with the work order. On Tuesday, it looks like I worked on in a project, job number 09-013, and I applied a cost coding category to that time. And I also worked at Crow's Nest, but I did not apply any time. And then here's another work order for Crow's Nest on Wednesday with my 8 hours of regular time. So as you can see, we kind of lay this out similar to a weekly time card that a technician may be used to today. We also automatically add up the time. As I scroll down the page here, we can see that we total up the time at the end of the week, and we have a mechanism for the employees to electronically sign off on their time cards and pass them into the office for review, in addition to the ability for supervisors or service managers to review those time cards from the field. The solution has many different bells and whistles. For instance, we have the ability to allow the on-call technician at night to generate their own work orders, to add a new assignment, to look up service site history. But let's kind of take you through the core workflow, basically the day in the life of a technician with a work order. So let's go ahead down to Friday. I have a sample work order here we can work on. So let's kind of drill into that work order as a technician. So imagine I am a technician in the field. I have my tablet, and I drill into the assigned work order detail page here. This is pretty much replaces that 3-part carbon copy service report your technician fills out today. This is where we're going to record the notes, labor, parts, and material that we used to complete this service call, and we're going to also capture the customer signature. So I'm going to kind of walk you through this page. So on the left-hand side of the page, you'll see all the information that you would typically see at the work order level within service receivables or service management in 300. All the useful information the technician may need is at their fingertips. We have the service site information, the problem code. We also have the ability to initiate a new quote. So let's say we're out here at this location and we find a bad heating system and the client wants a quote to replace that heating system. We have the ability to go ahead and initiate a new quote directly from this work order and append the new quote to the work order so that your salesperson in the office can identify, hey, were we out on a preventative maintenance call when this technician found that bad heating system, or was it a weekend call? We can also extend the functionality of your purchasing to the field. We know it's a pain point when it's a summertime and let's say you're an HVAC contractor and it's 95 degrees outside. You may have several technicians in the field. Your phones may be going crazy in the office, and that technician may need to call the office to get a purchase order so they can pick up a compressor for a customer. We allow you to extend the functionality of purchasing and make that technician the stakeholder. In other words, a technician can generate a purchase order on the field and automatically attach it to that work order to automate that process and cut down on the amount of time your technician is on hold waiting for that purchase order. We also have several checks and balances within the system around purchasing. For instance, we can limit the dollar value of purchase orders an individual technician can issue. We also have some useful information here from the location notes pulled directly in from your service management database. Moving on, we fully support assignments, the ability to start, stop, and complete a call. In this case, we also have the ability to assign one or multiple employees or see who else is on that work order with me. So let's go ahead and update that assignment so we can go ahead and start that assignment, and that will start the payroll clock. We can also move on. We have the ability to identify the piece of equipment that we're working on if we need that level of detail. We can also capture notes. So we can capture notes in two different formats. One is a note that's viewable to the customer. So this is that note that the technician would typically write down on their service ticket. I was out on site, found a bad heat exchanger, identified the system, we recommend replacement. So that's the note the client is going to see when they review the service ticket. The bottom note, the office note, this is really for internal purposes. So maybe the technician wants to let their dispatcher or service coordinator know that, hey, they're complete here, there's nothing else I can do, I'm heading home because it's midnight and I want to get some sleep. And that also helps save some phone calls to the office, because when the technician types in those notes and submits those notes, they can also fire off an email to their dispatcher or manager to help cut down on the number of phone calls to the office. So let's go ahead and add some notes. And I just so happen to have a few canned responses here. So we have the ability to use a canned response if we want to cut down on spelling errors and build consistency in our messages, or we can just type in our own custom message here. Okay, so we have those notes there. So let's go ahead. I want to make sure that my safety supervisor and my purchasing agent also get these notifications. So I'm going to go ahead and submit those notes. And these could also be your dispatcher, sales manager, so forth and so on. All right, so those notes are now immediately available within Sage 300 or 100 for review. Let's move on to labor. We have the ability to add our labor. Okay, we can also populate labor based off the assignment up here if we would like to. I just simply directly entered the labor into the system. We can go ahead and add inventory parts to the work order. So we have the ability to basically look at our vehicle, what do we have in our vehicle, and expense those directly to the work order. So let's go ahead and select this 20 by 20 by 2 pleated filter, and we use 2 of those. We also have the ability to share with the technician the, how many filters are on your vehicle. Let's go ahead and submit that part. All right. Let's go ahead and add a miscellaneous item. Maybe we had a torch charge or We can go ahead and add that to the work order. All right. All right, so now that we've collected our notes, our labor, and our parts, let's go ahead and capture the customer signature. This tab here, we can go ahead and create a service report. Okay, this is intended to mimic that current look and feel of the work ticket most contractors currently use today. This would be branded to your organization, so ABC Refrigeration Company up here, the location of your office. You can add your own custom marketing message if needed. What we really do is build a consistent message. We provide a very legible, professional looking report that you can send to your client. And at the same time, we're electronically filing away this information so that your office can immediately access it from anywhere, and you can help get rid of all of those service tickets that come into your office every Monday morning when the technicians pass in the paperwork. Because we all know how long it takes to go through that mountain of paperwork, alphabetize them, sort them, and manually cross-check them and enter them into your service management system. So here we have all the information we need. We have that custom reviewable note that the technician typed in describing the work. We have the ability to display all of the work order, register, or invoice items on the ticket. We can also display pricing if you need to collect COD payment in the field. We do know that commercial contractors do not like to display pricing, so there is a setting available to hide the pricing. Once again, a little bit about settings. We do have hundreds of settings throughout the solution within Sage Service Operations. We have the ability to customize the solution to your specific needs. Moving on down the page here. So we have the ability to go ahead and capture the client's signature, and we go ahead and save that as a PDF and automatically email that to the client as a very professional looking report. So let's take a look at what that report looks like here. All right. So if I go in here, you can see that your logo would be here. We have the customer signature, and that is immediately available to the office also. You can also add your own branding at the bottom. Maybe you have specific terms and conditions you'd like to add below the signature, which is typical. We can accommodate that also, and you can set those up on your own. Back at the work order level, on the content page, we also have the ability to take pictures by adding content and attaching them to the work order. That concludes the core workflow of Sage Service Operations. If you'd like more information about the solution, if you'd like to dive further into our quote solution, or if you'd like to take a look at jobs and some of the other feature sets available within Sage Service Operations, please call your business partner to coordinate a demo.